In 2013, we finished and shipped Contrast. The next time around, we decided we wanted to try to make a more systemic game. Then we started talking to Microsoft because we were going to do early access. Then we put it up on the E3 stage, and people saw it, and we got a great reaction to it. And then we realized, oh no, now this is not good because this is not what the rest of the game is. We weren't building the right thing. The scope of this is growing. We're going to need more time to build this. And we're also going to need more people. And I am so glad that we found you.
When I looked at the system for the first time, I could see the strain between the two directions. And the procedural system was able to incorporate all those constraints and to produce a world that was still different every time.
Several times, even before you got there, several times you got to the point where it's like, hey, the world is great 90% of the time. And then you have the set of exceptions that fall afterwards. And you'd spend all this time chasing down those exceptions, and then you try and fix it to fix that one case, and of course that would cause something new and strange to happen on the other side of the world.
Yeah, the work was really testing about thousands of worlds,
right,
and getting the stability back.
I wish I could say that we have 100% confidence in what's out there and that it builds things correctly each time. I mean, the number of possible worlds you can build is more than we could ever test.
Every day at one point we had a new edge case because new content was coming in. Designers and artists were finding new ways to create content, and as the content grew, there was new possibilities or new combinations that the system didn't know from.
Because it was still procedural, designers had a bunch of tools they had to work with, they weren't familiar. So normally you would, fire up Unreal and you go into the level editor and you lay out things the way you want them to be laid out.
There were things that were placed manually, and we convert them back to a procedural system saying, okay, everything you did, we'll just take them away, look at what you did, put it in a procedural system. The next time the level is loaded, it will be done by the procedural system.
We allowed our artists just to go and put all the vegetation they wanted in a level. So they could just use the standard tools and put trees and grass and plants, and then we just put a little tool behind them that just ripped all that data out and said, you know what, we're just going to hide that at runtime and just push them into the procedural system. Whereas you move through the world, the game is tearing down things behind you. And I think even in some spots we got to the point where we're not even destroying things. We're just like, hey, that lamppost is behind you. Well, now it's in front of you. You can't tell that's the same lamppost, but we're just somebody is, the computer's running behind you, shuffling things and sticking them in front of you as you move along.
Yeah, when prop placement is less of it's still an artistic choice, but it can be resolved to a parameter, resolved to a rule, then it's a lot easier to let the computer handle a lot of these sort of optimizations from doing that.
There were times, fairly late in production where we actually changed significantly the structure and the flow of the story. So we took locations that would have been in roughly chapter 4 and moved them up to chapter 2 and decided, we want the player to encounter this sooner. And normally if you wanted to restructure the world like that in a linear game, that would require a lot of effort. Somebody would have to go in and probably adjust the terrain of the world and location of points. But for us, it was literally changing a couple of lines in the configuration and just restarting the game.
And because the system was taking care of all this, it was really, really easy to move things around and not being concerned about it. So it was really about how we do that together. We really need to talk because not talking is not an option. And I think that's what got us through. The fact that we were able to communicate and work as a team for a complicated project because we were actually doing 2 games at the same time.
Right.
I think it's good to work on something ambitious as well, to go for something that is large scale, does have lots of systems. It was good to push ourselves, even though we're a small team. And like you say, having the procedural stuff to help us expand that into something that is as big as the amount of systems that we had to put into it was really nice. We knew that where we were pushing ourselves was at least in the direction of something that people wanted.
That's a big part of the fun too, because you want to do something meaningful. But the first week I was there, I was like, oh, it's going to be so cool. And at the same time, I was so scared. Yeah, it was like bungee jumping. Like you want to do that.
Safe form of bungee jumping.
Yeah, the safe form. Yeah.